Why, hello. I know the show is supposed to start, I think in 20 minutes. But hello to everyone out there in the non-space that is the internet. I'm your pal, Ishi the Gray. It's been a long, long day, and I don't feel like wearing the human suit, so fuck it. You got me. And because I felt like getting on the air early, fuck it. You got me. How is everyone? I've been spending the day once again writing. I am working my ass off on this book. Now, one wouldn't think that writing about boobs is hard work, but you'd be shocked. It is hard work. Ugh. Yes, I am starting early. How are we all doing? Who do we have with us tonight? Uh, Unqualified says it's 4:20 and he's blazing it, I guess. Blaze away, my friend. Star Storyteller is in the house. That's good. Endless Nocturne. I wonder what hot news item this stream's going to get derailed by. Oh, well, who knows? Give me a hot news item. I don't know. You're dealing with me right now. Out of the human suit, so you may get a weird answer. Yes, JEC, I am very motivated. I actually started early today. Usually I don't get down to writing until roughly around 8:30. I started at 7:30, and I think I powered through until about 4:30 with very few breaks. I wish I could share more of it with you now. I'm just so pleased with where things are headed. And it may even justify maybe a book on character archetypes, especially since you guys were asking me some questions about it. Shang-Chi trailer being slammed by the Chinese. So much for pandering to the CCP. What is Shang-Chi? I will check. Oh, is this a Marvel abomination? At this point, why is anyone even caring what Marvel does? They're a complete disaster. Okay, can somebody in the audience explain to me just what the hell Shang-Chi is? Okay, so it looks like yet another typical Marvel character given a Chinese paint job. Am I right? And the new trailer looks really boring, apparently. So no, give me something to talk about. Come on, throw some oddball questions at me. You got me for an extra 20 minutes today. You can do better than this. It's like the Master Kung Fu How about Master Ninja? Anybody remember Master Ninja with Levon Cleef and some dopey guy? Hey, Chicken Sith, what's up? Anybody? How about the MST3K version? How about that? I don't know. Yeah, as you can tell, I am very low energy tonight. Very, very low energy. My writing consisted of, let's see, I again was working on archetypes. Wrote quite a bit about Wonder Woman and her origins, and about the fact that her boobs, that's get this, for all of Greg Rutka's pissing and moaning about Wonder Woman having a female figure, the reptoid liar himself, Greg Rutka, he's a lizard underneath that skin. Lizard people, lizards don't have mammaries, so they hate mammaries. It's that simple. But Wonder Woman, did you know that in the initial creation of Wonder Woman, Marston was very explicit about what her measurements would be? He stated very clearly that she had to have the measurements of 36, 24, 36 with a D cup. And by the way, a 1940s D cup is bigger than the one than today. So she was more like a double D. Oh yeah, ropes and bondage too. Oh God. The thing that got me is I read some of the early Wonder Woman to kind of, make sure I knew what I was talking about. And I was a little shocked at just how often, the thing was I'm used to modern Wonder Woman. We got the kind of the benevolent mother goddess of Linda Carter, and then we got, well, the Timverse version, which was great. She definitely a bit of a feminist cunt at first till she loosened up. But the original Wonder Woman was really like kind of a overbearing mom. She was talking down to everyone. She treated all men like children, constantly calling men big babies. She'd catch criminals and scold them for doing wrong, then bend them over and spank them. It was kind of different. I'd have to say Marston definitely had some damage. My thoughts on the creator of Wonder Woman's poly relationship. Well, it worked for him is about all I can say about it. I mean, put bluntly, you read what this guy had to say, and this guy was a simp and a submissive through and through. I'm guessing he must have been a good-looking or wealthy simp to attract the two women that he was being shared with. Because keep in mind, he didn't have a wife and a mistress. No. He had a dominatrix and a wife that shared him. And he was their willing slave, as he put it. And he talked at quite long length about being the willing slave and very happy about it. He was also into infantilism and like being put in diapers and spanked. Very, very odd gentleman. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I talk about Marston and then I get into a character who kind of predates Wonder Woman by, I think, 4 years, which is Sheena the Jungle Queen, and how much the two characters differ, and how essentially Wonder Woman in her original incarnation was kind of the overbearing disciplinarian mommy. Sheena was essentially the savage wild woman. She did have a bumbling boyfriend that she fell for, but it was interesting. Whereas, Wonder Woman was unattainable for Steve Trevor. There was even a person, oh, Steve, I can never marry you because then I would have to pretend to be weaker than you. And we know neither of us would be happy with that. Whereas Sheena apparently, it was Bob the Hunter. What a name, Bob. Hunter, the great white hunter Bob, was Sheena's love interest, and she pretty much went up to him and said, "I claim you as my mate. You're mine now." Yeah, I've been trying to find a good quote from Crumb about his obsession with Sheena. And by the way, I watched an episode of the TV show. I don't understand what all the pissing and moaning was. It really was a gender-swapped Tarzan. The only thing that I can see that what people get pissed about is, goddamn, was that woman hot. Her name was Irish McCalla, good Irish girl, and she really was all that. Robust would be quite the term to use. And healthy and stacked. And I think she did her own stunts. But yeah, I could understand why a young boy would be quite interested in Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. As an adult man looking at her, she's quite a woman. But yeah, I found the comics version. Apparently, the comics version of Sheena was far less tame. It was far more kinky and perverse and all those good things. But the TV show was very wholesome, incredibly wholesome, in fact. Yeah. Is there any way I can find that documentary, JC, and not have to pay for it? I mean, I guess I'll track it. It's a really good documentary. Maybe I should just track it down anyway and have it. I just don't feel like dropping $20 for a quote, but I don't know. Maybe that's a sacrifice I must make as a writer. My brain's burnt out. I've been working all day. How would I put this? For those of you out there who aren't writers, a lot of people don't realize it, but the creative process of writing, be it journalism or I guess what I'm doing is critical. I don't know. It's a weird mix, but art and literature criticism, I suppose, and an instructional guide, as well as creative writing. It really does. It is draining energy wise. It definitely takes it out of you. And there is kind of this brain ache afterwards. And I think the frustrating part is I'm so into writing this book right now, I'm making such good progress. I don't want to stop. I just know that I can't proceed right now. It would just be a complete waste of time. I wouldn't produce anything good. My burnout point at this point is around 4:30. I just can't go any further. Type in binge with the phrase watch online. Okay, in Bing. Okay, I'll do that right now. Let's see. Yeah, I saw the Crumb documentary years ago, and it's really, really well done. I forget the name of the band, what band the guy was in who made the documentary, but he did one hell of a job. And what was creepy about that was Crumb's one really screwed up brother. Oh God, I forget his name now. But anyway, okay, so I went to Bing and put watch online. What do I do now? Type it. Oh, Sheena, or no, Crumb, watch online. Anyway, what was I saying? Fuck, I'm lost. Never mind. Oh, Charles. Okay, Charles was not the one that killed himself, but the groper, the one that would wander around and grab girls' asses and had a habit of swallowing so many yards of fabric and pulling it out of his back hole. That one. His stomping ground, the place that he would go prey upon people, was very, very. It was actually the neighborhood that the goth girl I was dating lived in at the time. And I actually saw Crumb and called her up immediately. Said, okay, you want to watch out for this guy. Because, yeah, it was that neighborhood that he would stalk. The words RAR-BG and torrent. Are those safe though? I really don't want to screw my computer up just out of curiosity. If I had a computer I didn't give a shit about, yeah, I'd download all sorts of things, but I really can't. I can't afford to get a virus on this machine. It would my workflow would come to a screeching halt, even though right now I'm working primarily outside. Okay, let's see. Saw a video on lady, not even going to try and pronounce that, Mommy Vampire Dom, from Resident Evil, on how fatal it is to get strapped in by her. Used her BMI and other factors to include, yep, you dead, mate. Yeah, Max. Max was the one that killed himself. Or was no, Charles killed himself. Max was the one that stalked the same area that goth girl lived in. That was a really shitty area, by the way. Strangely enough, it was a really dangerous area, but it was across the street from the police department. Yeah, that's San Francisco efficiency for you, right? Maxon, I don't know if he had an anal fixation. He had an ass fixation. I didn't. Well, no, wait. He did pull fabric out his ass. So you're right. Maybe he did have a fixation, but he had this thing where he was talking about how he'd be in public and he'd see an ass he really liked on a girl, and he couldn't help himself. He had to grab it. And it's like, whatever. You're fucked up, dude. Keypad failure. So yeah, I talk about Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. Ares was the god of computer viruses. Torn is fine, but then I wouldn't know about that. Wink, wink. Of course you wouldn't. None of us know anything about sailing the high seas. We would never do such a thing. You know, Pirates of the Caribbean, never. Nah, But so I got into that, and then I'm going to parallel that into Robert E. Howard and his characters of Red Sonja and Valeria. And the interesting thing is in both cases, Wonder Woman babied the ever-living shit out of Steve Trevor. Sheena, although a much more preferable character in my opinion, Hunter Bob, she just kind of said, "You belong to me now," and that was the end of that. The interesting thing was that, Howard, on the other hand, was a man's man. He rode horses, he shot guns. He went on. He was kind of in the same mold as Teddy Roosevelt and Hemingway. He went out on adventures and risked his life. And so, his fantasy woman, Valeria, was very muscular, very busty. She had all these great qualities, but Conan wasn't her property. She didn't claim him by any means. He respected her. That was the difference. He had great disdain for all the other women of his universe, but he respected Valeria. And the real Sonya is kind of an interesting story too. Hey, Ginell, what's up?
Hey, sorry I'm late.
You're not late at all.
Oh, I'm not? Oh, okay. I thought maybe I was late.
Really, I just felt like talking to everybody.
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone.
Just for the audience, are our levels okay, or am I louder than Ginell? Just need to know. But back from my nap anime acid trip, you have missed absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, my friend. You just got to hear me ramble about how, fuck it, I'm going live, and talking a bit about what I wrote today. So, wait, let's see. So Death by Snoozu could be attributed to Robert Crumb. The way they were drawn in that episode, yes. So anyway, Ginell, how's it going?
It's going good. I had a good practice this evening and just kind of been chilling and playing video games today.
Awesome. Very awesome. That sounds like what game are you playing?
I am playing Destiny 2. I bounce between Destiny 2 and Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, okay. So these are multiplayers.
Yeah, but when a good or a good single player comes out, like Cyberpunk 2077 or anything in the Fallout universe, I'll drop the MMOs and go play that religiously.
I kind of have an itch to get back to what was it, Fallout New Vegas. That one I really liked.
Hold on for a moment. Is my voice now lower? Chicken said I was a little high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You sound fine to me.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay. So, all right. Well, long as nobody's getting their ears blown out, we're all good. Okay, so Gina Lee Nolan was Sheena on TV, I guess what, in the 80s? Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of itching for a good game. Right now, I've been playing kind of arcade type games that you can download. Right now, I'm playing. I can't even remember the name of it. It's a very 80s inspired side scroller where you play a 80s action movie cyberpunk type, and you get to pick from three. One's a cyborg, one's a female Snake Plissken, and one's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type.
Okay. Oh, I need to interrupt for a second. Chris says hi to you and Kat.
Oh, well, hello there, Chris. How's it going?
He's gone back to his room. He wanted to remind me that I was supposed to say hello on air. So what is the name of this game again?
Oh, I can't even remember right now. I'm so brain dead, but it's quite amusing. It's kind of cut from the same mold as the old arcade RoboCop game.
I love that game.
except this thing is like crammed full of synthwave music and every 80s cyberpunk B-movie cliche possible. It's great. You're kind of going from city to city, taking down gangs, and like the first gang were all punkers, and this gang is a gang of hockey hooligans. Straight out, essentially like the baseball gang in the Warriors, except it's hockey.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have sadly never seen the Warriors. I've always wanted to see it, and every time it's on, something happens, and I have never seen it. I feel like I'm missing out.
It is well worth seeing. One thing that I thought was really cool about the Warriors is the way that it's shot and made. Okay, it feels like it could be in the same universe as Escape from New York. It has that feel.
Oh, well, Escape from New York is my favorite movie. It's been my favorite movie since I was a kid. Oh, yeah. I remember the first time, like my parents let me sit down and watch it with them when it first showed up on HBO. And I was like, holy shit, I want to be Snake Plissken when I grow up. And it's been that way since. I watch it at least once a month.
I knew there was a reason we're friends.
Yeah, I adore that movie. I mean, it's every time a new version will come out, Steve will try and get it for me because I always want a new version. So I have a bunch of I have my old VHS where I recorded it off TBS, and then the one I got from Suncoast Video in the mid '90s when Suncoast Video was still around, and that's where you could get B movies and anime. And yeah, so Steve
I
always
remember
gets
Suncoast.
I loved Suncoast.
Yeah, Escape from New York kind of holds a special place in my own inner mythology growing up because I don't know. Do you have any memory of KTLA Channel 5 in Los Angeles?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay. That they would show Escape from New York a couple times every year. And I would always see parts of it or see it. And it was so different than anything else I'd ever seen. And it was just such bizarre. When you think sci-fi, you thought Star Wars.
Yeah.
But, this guy looked like he was from a metal band. Everything's fucked up. The gang, everything about it. It was just something. I knew that I was seeing something special. And it just really stuck with me. The bomb in his head, all of that.
Well, I like the fact, like, I didn't know it when I was a kid, but as I got older and I read about the history of New York, and by the 60s, it had become a total shithole. And it wasn't until Giuliani rolled up and cleaned it all up.
And they all hated him for it.
Pardon?
And they all talk shit about him for doing it.
I know. And now they're living Escape from New York now. I mean,
yeah, they
people are still fleeing. But I mean, the way that things were going in New York, Carpenter was like, dude, it's totally plausible that this whole island would just be abandoned and it turned into a prison. I mean, I had no clue it was that bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until later when I watched movies like, Serpico. The one about the guy that fought the corruption in the New York Police Department, and you see how bad New York is. It's Al Pacino.
Yeah.
But yes, and Chicken Sis says Escape from Barbeau's Cleavage. Yeah, I stare at her boobs when I watch that movie. I won't lie.
I'm sure you've listened to the commentaries on that DVD Blu-ray, right?
I have not listened to the commentary yet.
Oh, geez, really?
No, I don't. You know why? I think it's just because I get so engrossed in the film that I just don't think to put the commentary on. I heard it's great because I heard that they get kind of shit-faced as the commentary goes on.
Yeah.
So I need to sit down and listen.
Well, like one of these afternoons when you're like cleaning the house or, doing some sort of mindless busy work that you just have to get done, run it in the background. First off, Kurt Russell and Carpenter are hilarious, and they do start getting shit-faced. And like there's one part where Russell is talking about the snake tattoo, where they decided to put it.
Yeah.
And about the letters he gets because of it. But the other part that was really interesting was Russell talking about how, as a teenager, Adrienne Barbeau was like his fantasy girl. And he was trying to play this tough, cool, tough guy in front of her. And he was trying very hard to not be distracted.
I'm not surprised. She has a great rack. She still has a great rack for being a senior. Oh, Kat asked if she could come in. Kat, come in.
Shit, what?
Don't ask.
Like you need to ask. Jesus. But yeah, it really is worth playing in the background sometime. Big Trouble in Little China is also a real fun one to play.
Oh, that's such a good movie too.
I forget the name of the old Chinese man in it, who was also in Prince of Darkness. You know who I'm talking? Victor Wong, I think's his name.
The guy that played not Egg Shen, the villain.
No.
Egg Shen was Victor Wong. Is Victor Wong?
I believe so.
Okay.
James Hong was the villain.
Okay.
He was in Blade Runner too, by the way.
Yeah, he was the guy that created the synthetic eyes that Rutger Hauer, or no, it wasn't Rutger Hauer, it was Byron James kept putting on his shoulders while Rutger Hauer was talking to him. That traumatized me when I was a kid.
I was going to say is that apparently when they were making Big Trouble in Little China, Victor Wong saw the cut and his two comments were, "I don't get it." And when it came to Kurt Russell's character, Jack...
I forget.
I forget too.
I
just remember he drove the Pork Chop Express.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wong saw it and he's like, "I don't get it." And he's not very good, is he? He was baffled by the film, apparently.
No. Do people know the link between Big Trouble in Little China and Buckaroo Banzai?
Oh, do you know that?
No, tell me.
This is kind of I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet because Big Trouble in Little China is such a good film. It is so damn enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, the original incarnation of that script was the sequel to Buckaroo Banzai.
What?
Remember Buckaroo Banzai was going to have a sequel called the Buckaroo Banzai versus
the Triad or something? They were going after the criminal syndicate.
Yeah.
It was the crime syndicate.
Of the world, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the plot. That was what it was going to be.
Are you kidding me? I like it the way it came out. I mean, it sounds cool with Buckaroo Banzai, but the fact that you have this stereotypical bumbling, like hardcore Western American, like I can kick ass, and he's totally just getting his butt whipped by the Chinese and Chinese culture was brilliant.
The Pork Chop Express. Yeah. Well, there we go. The World Crime League. Exactly, Ricky Joya. Okay. And the leader of the World Crime League is mentioned multiple times in the first film, but because of the way it's cut, you have no idea who they're talking about.
Yeah.
But you remember Penny Priddy said something about a guy named Shang?
Yeah.
That was the leader of the crime league, and that's James Wong's character, or James Hong's character. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been hysterical.
So I guess in a weird roundabout way, you could claim that Big Trouble in Little China and Buckaroo Banzai are the same universe.
So Big Trouble in Little China is like the spiritual sequel to Buckaroo Banzai, I guess you could call it.
Right.
And, I could totally see Kurt Russell in the
Jack Burton, that's it.
There you go, in the Pork Chop Express, in the same universe as, Banzai and his band.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I think Carpenter would have done an awesome job directing a sequel.
Oh, he would have done an amazing job.
Of course, he doesn't do sequels.
But it would have been his film.
Yeah. So how you doing?
He did Escape from LA. And when I was a kid, I hated that movie. As I've gotten older and I realized they were literally making fun of themselves, I appreciate the movie now.
The first film?
Yes.
Yeah, I know that he did. Carpenter did it because he just was it Russell and was it what's her name? Was it Gail Ann Hurd or was the woman he did all?
Deborah something.
Yeah,
It was yeah.
Deborah Hill.
Yes, Deborah Hill.
Both kept nagging him to do it. They kept wanting to do it, so he said, "Okay, I'll do it."
He's done worse things because people told him to.
Well, look, he disavows Starman.
Oh, actually, I was
Really?
thinking Christine.
Oh, Christine.
Yeah.
He did that as a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, he disavows Christine and Starman?
No, he doesn't disavow Christine. He disavows Starman.
How come? Because I mean, I actually thought that was a good movie.
You'd have to hear him tell it. He talks about it on the commentary to The Thing.
Okay.
And I don't feel I would do it justice. You just have listen. Actually, all his commentaries are enjoyable.
I want to listen to his commentary for Vampires because that's a good. I love that movie. I know a lot of people didn't like it.
Do we even have that DVD?
We do not. Yeah, stupidly enough, we don't have that, and we should. We really should.
That's a great vampire film.
It's a great vampire film, and it did things I had never seen before, like the guy firing off his gun to heat it up hot enough to cauterize his wounds.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was amazing. Cesario, Kim Cattrall was hot in the film Big Trouble in Little China. Shame her nude pics from Star Trek were destroyed by Leonard Nimoy.
Damn you, Leonard Nimoy. But we did get to see her nude in Split Second.
We did.
In the shower.
Yes.
When Rutger Hauer runs in on her because the monster was in there, and then she slaps him.
Yeah. And I agree with you. She well, even now she's attractive, but she was quite a looker in her youth.
She's an amazing actress in that I've seen her do roles where she should be slutty, and she always comes off as classy. No matter what, she always has some amount of class, and I envy that. White Rat, The Thing, and Big Trouble in Little China are two of my favorite films.
Yeah, they're excellent. Leave Jack Burton alone. that man is a hero.
They Live and Prince of Darkness are also two really good films. I've never seen a bad John Carpenter film, but for me, he's one of my favorite directors, so I'm very biased. Like, I liked Assault on Precinct 13, and I didn't like the remake.
Oh,
what? No. We speak not of the remake.
We've been trying to get that on Blu-ray.
Yes, we have.
They didn't make enough of them.
No, they didn't. It's been.
I
hard
got
to
lucky.
Find it.
Steve found it for me on Blu-ray and brought it home, and we watched it, and I was just like, "This movie is great."
It is. It is. And for you storytellers out there, Assault on Precinct 13 is a great one to watch, and here's why. It's structured perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It is so tightly structured. Everything's established within the first, 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Not only do they do that, the pacing never stops. Everybody is a developed character who matters, at least. And most importantly, not only is everything established in the first 5 to 10 minutes, Carpenter does something in those first few minutes that makes everybody's life at risk.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's safe. And that alone is worth studying.
Well, really, that's key if you're...
We can't ruin it.
No, I'm not going to say it. If you're going to do something like horror, if you can give the audience the sense that, there is not going to be a final girl, or, you can't guess who's going to come out of it alive, that really helps with your storytelling, and Carpenter does that in this.
That film really should be regarded higher than it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, aren't a lot of Carpenter's movies not well regarded anymore because he didn't toe the Hollywood line, so to speak, and he got blacklisted?
Yeah, exactly, because he's a libertarian. But, even back then, he was not well liked in Hollywood because he was a libertarian and wouldn't play their game.
But then again, he makes horror films, and horror's always been the
domain of rebels.
Yeah.
You can't even do that anymore, though. Remember, in the 80s and sort of in the 90s, you could still break all the rules if you did horror. You didn't have to be politically correct.
Well, I think about like Wes Craven. I mean, he made horror films and he's lauded as like one of the best writers, directors out there. But I don't know if he ever towed the line or what. I didn't know much about Wes Craven. I just know that he made the Last House on the Left, left quite an impression on me when I was a teenager and I saw it for the first time.
That film is hard to watch, but, you know, groundbreaking. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he went in the direction he did afterwards, considering just what really that film's about. And first off, I'll ask, did you catch the undercurrent symbolism of the film, or did it just hit you on the surface level because it's such a gut punch?
Let's see. For me, what I picked up was you could definitely tell that there was an homage to the movie Silent Spring. I think that was Ingmar Bergman and Max von Sydow. I don't know if you guys know what movie I'm talking about.
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Watch it. It's really good. I mean, it's really good, but it's also a gut punch. What I thought was really cool about the movie was the parents getting revenge. For once, you watch the parents go batshit insane. It's not the teenager that gets away, you know, it's not your typical slasher stalker. It's, oh no, you are watching parents who are devastated, who lose their minds and basically become not human anymore. They become animalistic and go nuts on these bad guys. And that's what I thought was brilliant about the movie. I don't know if that was the underlying thing or what, but I think Silent Spring is the same thing.
Well, I think you nailed a big part of it. Here's what I got, and maybe you can say, nah, you're reading into it, you're on crack. But what I got from Last House on the Left was that it was about the generational conflict and the failure of the 60s revolution, or the death of the 60s. Oh my God.
I see it now.
And the thing that really got me is at the beginning, she's going to see a concert, the girl. And I forget the name of the band, but it was something like Death something or other, or Blood something. It was a metal band, right? And the mom's kind of appalled by the name. Said, I thought you kids were the love generation. And the girl goes out to have fun. And we know what happens, you know, essentially a Manson type family against hippies gone bad, kidnap her and do unspeakable things to this girl. And as it's going on, what really got me was every time they're showing the killers, right? Or the killers, you've got modern music. You've got, you know, what was, I guess, 70s pop music, or just what people were listening to at the time. But every time they showed the parents, they played 1950s, almost idealistic. And the music was like really pleasant and, you know, wholesome. And it kept going back and forth between this wholesome home life of these parents who just didn't know what was going on, and then cutting back to the psychedelic music and their daughter getting tortured. And
no, you know what? That I did not pick up on that, but that makes total sense, because there's a scene in the movie when the daughter is getting ready to go out with her friend, and her dad says she looks like a goddamn hippie, and she says, "Peace, man," and throws up the peace sign to him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
On a side note, did you know that I can't remember his name, but the guy who played Krug scored the movie?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
So, and I hate the remake to that movie too.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, don't see it.
We not speak of it. It is dead to us. It does not exist.
Of course, I don't think even the original is a film you want to see.
I have not seen the original, and I know about it. I've seen cuts from various review shows, and I understand its significance in our culture, and that is enough for me. There are other disturbing films I'm happy to see. So, oh, good.
I'm just sharing.
Right. I was going to say, LK, his other problem is sharing the same name as the person theorized to have killed Bob Crane.
What is patriotism?
Oh, God.
Patriotism is looking, really.
What Ishii is quoting is there's a film that Bob Crane had to do as public service. What was his crime?
Oh, I don't know if that was his sex crimes or his drugs or his alcohol or what.
He's like, pick one. But he did this whole video about what patriotism is. And it's this rambling, nonsensical...
It makes no fucking sense.
...thing for 20 minutes. It's just this montage of, here are things, look at them. That's patriotism.
It's about looking, really looking. And trees. Planting trees is patriotism.
And sharing.
Sharing is patriotism. It's like, what the hell is this about?
I am so lost. What are you guys talking about?
Again,
Bob Crane.
Yeah, Riff Tracks did a video that Bob Crane was...
From Hogan's Heroes.
From Hogan's Heroes was court ordered to create because as part of his sentence for one of his various crimes that he was brought to trial for. Okay. And it's a video about what patriotism is, but it's nonsensical. And it's like, not only is it obvious he wrote it while he was drunk, he filmed it even drunker, possibly on some sort of Quaalude as well.
It's incoherent.
Yeah.
We should send her a link.
Yeah.
Sometime. We'll dig it up sometime and send it her way.
The Riff Tracks channel, I think, has put it up for free because it's old enough now.
Now, the other thing I was going to say about Last House on the Left is we're talking about a film that disturbed John Carpenter.
Yeah.
End of story.
Well, I remember hearing when I was watching the movie and listening to the, we were just talking about listening to these things, and I'm having a brain fart. Commentary. Yeah. That people were fainting in the theater, people were vomiting. Apparently, some old woman died of a heart attack while watching the film. And they were talking about like this was, in a morbid way, great publicity for the movie because more people wanted to go see what this movie was about.
For once, what was it? Corman's old thing about offering free burial services would have actually applied for once.
Yeah.
Do you know that Corman used to do that?
I did not know that.
This film is
sounds
so
like
disturbing.
Corman.
Yeah, and the film isn't even disturbing. This film is so disturbing that we offer free burial services to anyone who dies.
Well, he'd also hire people to freak out in the film, so that and then invite the news to come and for a free review, so that they would report said freaking out. LK, there is real brilliance in Hogan's Heroes. It's amazing that it was ever made.
I found out something really warped about Hogan's Heroes today because of the book I'm writing.
Oh, really?
Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS was shot on those sets.
Oh, that's funny.
There's another classic I haven't seen.
I actually haven't seen it either.
Oh, that's kind of like finding out that again, Mystery Science Theater classic Pod People was shot on the same set as I think a Lucio Fulci film.
Wow. So what other films really just stick out in your mind as something that really influenced you other than Escape from New York, which apparently is her favorite film, by the way?
Awesome.
Yes. You're going to laugh. 1984, David Lynch's Dune. My parents were huge Frank Herbert fans. I mean, huge, to the point that they had all the original hardbacks. And they also got the Dune Encyclopedia, which was a limited print that you can't get anymore. And
I'd love to go through that.
You know what? next time I will try to remember, even though it's probably a year away. I will try to bring it so you can flip through it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Cool.
Actually, I'm not going to laugh at you about David Lynch's Dune.
No.
I feel that the film was really just unfinished, and that it has some of the best production design and world building this side of Blade Runner.
And Jürgen Prochnow. It's got Jürgen Prochnow in it.
And I take it you've seen both versions then?
Yes, I've seen the Alan Smithy cut, and I've seen the regular cut.
That's
I like
the
both.
unfinished work print?
That's the Alan Smithy cut, right?
No, the cable cut was actually the unfinished work print.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that one because you can tell it's unfinished because their eyes aren't colored blue in certain scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are scenes where the blaster guns don't fire.
And the film quality drops considerably.
You know, the thing is we have all the footage there. It's like, why not do it right? There was so much there.
No, I agree. Frank Herbert even said that, for the budget like falling apart at the end, like David Lynch really tried and was doing really well. The only thing that Frank Herbert had issue with was turning the Weirding Way into sonic weaponry instead of the actual martial arts that it was based off of, or the pressure points and stuff. Which now, with the way cinema has really done martial arts, I would hope that the new Dune movie would do that well, but I don't have a lot of high hopes for the new movie. Because they injected politics into it. So that's why for me, the 84 version of Dune is always going to be the perfect Dune. I didn't really like the sci-fi version. There were some good actors in it, but there were also some really bad actors in it.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that they got to play Baron Harkonnen played Baron Harkonnen correctly.
Oh, he was perfect.
And looked it too.
Yes.
He was absolutely perfect. I liked how they did the Baron correctly. Honestly, I did like how they did Dune Messiah / Children of Dune. In fact, I can never remember this actress's name, but she played the Borg Queen. I thought she made
Alice
an amazing.
Creed?
Yeah, I thought she made an amazing Jessica.
Yes,
William Hurt had no business as Leto.
No,
I agree.
No,
you needed somebody more rugged. You needed somebody that wasn't out. I mean, that was the thing about Duke Leto. Caladan wasn't a rich planet. It was a fishing planet. Like they were poor compared to the Harkonnens that were like, overflowing in wealth.
Well, that's why he was a duke and the Baron was a baron. Duke is actually one of the lowest levels if you're going to go by, who's in the hierarchy. Duke's like one of the lowest, if not the lowest. I think the lowest was actually baronet. So
yeah.
So yeah, it was a major thing. Okay, I gotta ask, what are your thoughts?
Any good ones, passerby?
On the fact that the Geiger Dune was never made.
It was Giger and Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Giger, Ridley
and
Scott,
Mobius.
Dan O'Bannon, and I think we talked about this last week.
And Mobius.
The guy's name that I can't pronounce. Yeah, and Mobius were all part because they all went off to do Alien after Dune got canceled.
Actually, I have to throw in that actually isn't quite it.
Oh, it isn't.
They had all done Alien. They started to work on Dune. Then Scott said, if I take on this project, it'll devour my life. And then went and did Blade Runner, and it devoured his life.
I thought that they were doing Dune first, and it fell apart. So they were all like, let's go do Alien. And then Blade Runner came. I got it mixed up. I didn't realize it was the other way around. But I would have killed to see Geiger's Dune. They did keep some elements in the 84 movie, which was, I actually liked that the still suits mimicked the musculature of the human body.
Yes.
I wasn't down with the fact they didn't have the face coverings because that's an important part of the still suit because of the breathing and the moisture. But the still suits themselves, and then Giddy Prime still kept the Geiger-esque, like that real morbid torture. You've got people with their eyes sewn shut, their ears sewn shut, like that just grimy industrial. look. I liked that a lot, and I'm glad they kept it.
Mm-hmm. Same. Just stylistically speaking, that film is just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
And really the only part I would say is oh hell no, is the Baron himself. That's really the only part that's like, why did you do that? But I guess merely being a pedophile wasn't gross enough. You had to make him also filled with pus and shit.
They were trying to. David Lynch said he was trying to show that the Baron was diseased, because you knew in the book, if you read the book, you knew he was diseased, but you didn't see it. And so he was trying to show that he was diseased, and then they also wanted to show he was insane. Where to me, the Baron is a charismatic psychopath, and he's very glamorous, and he's very charming, and he's very
Henry VIII.
droll. Yeah. Dude, yes. That is the perfect description of Baron Harkonnen. I mean, that's why I liked Ian McNeice as the Baron in the miniseries for Dune, because there's the great scene where it was either Raban or Fade Rautha was mouthing off about something, and he just slaps him across the face and is like, "You need to be quiet." And I just laughed, because that was like, that's what you would see him do. But yeah, so I really liked that Baron. That's like, oh, I'm so worried about the new movie coming out. Like, oh.
I really liked Brad Dourif's portrayal of Piter.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough of him, honestly.
I agree. There needed to be more. He has mastered playing such slimy characters. I'm pretty sure in real life he's a cool person.
Oh yeah, he is.
Wormtongue, Chucky, Piter.
Have you seen Death Machine?
He's great in Death Machine.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you would love Death Machine. Giant robot with a video game brain, built by Brad Dourif, wearing with long hair and a leather jacket.
Okay, yes, I need to see that. I need to see that.
And Brad Dourif plays a guy who never left the senior year of high school.
Pretty much.
As a mad scientist.
Yes.
Hey, dude.
And
what's up?
And his character is so weird on that set. And then you see how he acts, because a lot of what he does, of course, is him. And then you know that he's a method actor who never breaks character.
That's what I was going to bring up. Did you ever hear my take on Child's Play?
No. Or maybe I did. That might have been, I don't know. Did you guys do a video about it?
I've mentioned this a couple times before on air. Brad Dourif is a method actor. He remains in character on set till the film's done.
Oh, shit.
What was Child's Play like? What was the filming of Child's Play like?
I can only imagine.
I want to see a behind the scenes of that.
That would be amazing. And it's like, okay, well, since in the first film, at least, you actually do see him, the man, before he becomes a doll. So it's like, okay, when he's on the set, is he him, the man, or does he walk around with a little Chucky doll? Like talk behind.
No, he would wear the striped shirt and the overalls and put on the tennis shoes.
There you go.
Yep. Put on a red wig. I did not know that he was a hardcore method actor. For real, I didn't know that.
He apparently creeped people out on the Lord of the Rings set.
Oh, he did a fantastic job as Wormtongue. He freaked me out, and I hadn't read the books yet, so I take that. I'd only read Fellowship of the Ring, and so I had never read Wormtongue. But I'll tell you what, he made an impression. Pretty much any movie he's in that I see him in, he makes an impression. Alien Resurrection. I'm not a big fan of that movie, but he plays the lead mad scientist that splices the human DNA with the alien, and then it gives birth. And then I don't know if you see, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was him and James Earl Jones, and it was during the Old West, and it was a horror film. And he's a preacher, and James Earl Jones is a bounty hunter. And they try to scare each other by telling each other horror stories that take place in the Old West.
Why have I never seen this?
My dad brought it home for me to see it when I was a kid, and it was fascinating. Okay, I'm going to look it up.
Find this.
Dude, I am like instantly, I am all about the Weird West. I love Weird West stories. So, you just said like 5 things that are like, I'm totally there. Shut up, take my money. But with that said, I that actually explains something, because I saw him in Deadwood, and I'm like, how the hell did Brad Dourif get into Deadwood? I mean, and not only that, he's not being scary. He's actually an incredibly sympathetic character. I
kind of relate to that character.
Yeah, he was like the main reason I continued watching the show as long as I did. I'm sorry, fans of Deadwood. I got bored with it. But I watched it as long as I did because I wanted to see more of Brad. And it's like, how did he get this role? So I get maybe the powers that be saw him in this film that you were talking about.
It's called, you're going to love the title, Grim Prairie Tales.
Oh, I don't know whether to applaud or to smack somebody.
It's a good film. It's a good B horror film. I truly enjoyed it. There's parts of it that are cheesy, but I mean, it's like good cheesy. You know what I mean? Just seeing Brad Dourif and James Earl Jones trying to freak each other out, it just around a campfire in the middle of the night. Great movie.
Wow. I gotta find this. I really gotta find this.
If you guys will excuse me for a second, I need to get something to drink, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, I just did the same thing. So
you did.
So it's okay. So anyway.
Yes.
How's the crafts going?
Well, I haven't touched them since Sunday. And I'm glad I took a step back. I had one of those moments at the end of Sunday where, things are, looking like I'm fucking up every which way. And I just needed to take a step back. And I didn't want to even look at my table yesterday. But today, I think I'm ready to tackle it again. I think I know what I did, and I can fix it. So it's not really fix. It's more make it work. I bought these neat flexible mirrors that were supposed to be full mirrors. I mean, they were supposed to actually have really good reflective quality. Now it's all contingent upon if you put them onto something that is flat, and there's no warping on what you put them on, but otherwise they're flexible. They're like stickers. And though I had glass mirrors, I was thinking it would be better to use this because of the weight issue. And I put it on there, and it looked beautiful, and it was flat, and it was perfect. And I took the protective coating off of it, and damn if the thing didn't look like a funhouse mirror. And
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Nope. I was just regaling people with mirror stories. I'm being boring. Elton, Grim Prairie Tales is on YouTube, just not very good. Very good quality. Sorry.
Horrible.
Tell me about your creativity. Oh, hot tomboy waifu. Ishi the Grey, living the dream.
Yes, I am. I'm out of the suit, don't you know?
Oh, you're out of the suit.
Can't you tell?
Well, I always see you as out of the suit.
The song Living a Lie by Frontline Assembly reminds me of you guys. Just switch the roles. The first time I heard that song, I was like, it's Kat and Ishi, and I just started laughing.
I've got to play you that track.
You have to play it for me. You have to play it for me.
You'll like it.
I like Frontline, but I'm not very well versed with their catalog.
It's a newer song.
It's a newer song?
Yeah.
Okay. I know most of the older stuff.
It's good.
Yeah, I was actually blown away because that was so out of character for them. This is just not something they would usually do.
Right.
Usually Bill Lieb singing about robots or the future, or, his usual thing with Bill Lieb of Frontline is if he can't think of anything to sing about, he'll come up with a song about an unusual way to die. I mean, there's this long list of songs where it's just, well, what's another strange way to die? Okay, asphyxiation in space, drowning, implosion, electrocution. I mean, he's written songs about all of these things.
Well, I suppose that's better than was it Colony 6, where like when they can't figure out something to sing about, he sings about how he can't get out of the bottle and how he really wants to.
Did I ever tell you I interviewed and met Bill Leeb a few times?
Whoa, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was younger, I used to do... we used to work or write for fanzines.
Real quick, Mad Ginger says Australia is a strange way to die. That is an odd comment.
I think he's right, though.
Anyway,
there's all sorts of horribly strange ways to die in Australia.
Well, like most of the planet's most deadly things are in Australia. But anyway.
But I used to do a lot of writing for Industrial Nation magazine. And one of the interviews I did was with Frontline Assembly. And, this was one of my favorite bands. I am so thrilled to meet this guy. I can't wait to talk to Bill Leeb. And I get him right after a dentist appointment where they drugged him.
Oh, shit.
He was so fucking weird on whatever the hell what was it, Novocaine and whatever else they'd given him.
Oh, well, it depends on what it was that he was having done. He also could be one of those people where if you get hit with Novocaine, you just become stupid loopy,
But yeah, like one thing was one of the questions is, well, if you could become a cyborg, what would you do? What modifications would you want? You'd done enough songs about cyborgs. I figured he'd have an answer to that. And he starts off, well, that's a pretty loaded question. I suppose having the indestructible body would be good, yes. Or, though, you could become a real perverted sex maniac that way.
Wow.
That is awesome. I love
it. That was not expected.
So he'd want to be Tetsuo the Iron Man?
That's kind of what came out. And then there was another one where I asked him about the song Outcast. And I said, well, it's about a psycho or a serial killer, right? And he said, well, he's just going on. Well, yeah, I was writing about it. It's like, what can you do when you capture those kinds of people? I mean, I guess the only thing you can do is put them in jail or kill them. Or, I suppose you could take their brains out and freeze them so you could study their brains. And he just goes off on this tangent about that.
Oh,
wow.
And it's like, you're not all here right now, are you, dude?
That sounds like it was an amazing interview.
It kind of was. I mean, as a teenager, I'm like, well, he was gone. I wanted to meet Bill Leeb. He was drugged up. But in retrospect, it was great.
So did you print the interview or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Well, he must not have taken umbrage with it. I think it's actually pretty awesome that you got to interview him.
It had a article about the album and then a straight Q&A. And so it was essentially just his answers. So he spoke for himself. And then Reese Fulber just talked a lot about working with Fear Factory.
Really?
Well, then he joined Fear Factory right after that. So.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, based. I don't know. I actually have plenty of interesting music industry stories. I keep promising to get into that. I guess I never have I?
No, we need to get you started one of these times. Maybe if we did like a Saturday Nothing show.
Are you a fan of the band Covenant?
Yes, you told Steve and I the Covenant story that had us in hysterics when we first got to meet you guys. And you told us the Covenant story and we just started laughing.
Okay, yeah.
But you should tell it. I don't know if anybody in chat's heard the Covenant story. Okay, now, before.
For those of who are listening, I'm speaking of the kind of future pop industrial band Covenant from Sweden, not the death metal band. Just making that clear.
Name some album titles.
Oh, well, Sequencer, Europa, I guess are the two real big ones in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the three of them, well, it was actually just the two. Joachim and Eskil were the only ones that had come over. And this was their very first U.S. performance. And it was at a club in San Francisco. And these guys drank. I mean, they drank a lot. And
what, like there's a prize at the bottom?
Yes. And the label owner, the guy that was putting the show together, realized just how much these guys like to drink and party. And the night of the show, they had for their writer all the things they wanted in the dressing room for them to drink. And Don's like, okay, we got them everything they asked for, but don't tell them where it is. Tell them that it will be there once the show's over. I don't want these guys getting drunk. So just tell them we haven't had a chance to get it, but all the liquor's coming. And so the band shows up. They're about to, they're going to go live in about a half hour. And Don says, okay, guys, I'm real sorry. I know you're writer. We got you everything you wanted, but the alcohol, it's on its way. There was a delay. So-and-so's in traffic, so you'll have it after the show. And Joachim says, oh, it's okay, Don. We brought our own, and just pulls out this gigantic bottle of vodka. And Don just looks like, oh my God, just like he was going to piss himself right there.
How did the show go?
The show went pretty good for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Eskil nailed it. He's the singer. He very, very David Bowie-esque in his air, the way he carried himself. Mm-hmm. Very European. He was smooth. Joachim, the keyboardist, on the other hand, yes, absolutely, Fair White Maiden. Joachim, at one point, they had this song, I Am, and it's got kind of this chant thing going on. It's, I am the rhythm and the noise, I am, it just goes on. And at one point is, let's see, I'm the shepherd and the wolf. I am the shepherd and the wolf. And then suddenly right behind him, Joachim out of nowhere just starts screaming, and Joachim just stops and looks at him like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wow.
The look on Joachim's face was like, I'm going, or Eskil's face was like, I'm going to kill you now.
Well, and considering their music is just so straight ahead, I mean, it's not a direct comparison, but it'd be like if Kraftwerk suddenly broke into something like that.
They were very influenced by Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just so for Joachim to out of nowhere just start howling like a wolf. It was just hilarious.
If Trans Europe Express, they start going toot toot.
That actually is a good example. That would be kind of what it would have been like. And I got a good view of it because I was actually doing the lights for that performance. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
God.
But I think the other fun thing was backstage. Well, when they did get their liquor, they were talking to some of the other bands were performing, including a local industrial band called Scar Tissue. And the guitarist for Scar Tissue was a weird guy. And I liked it about it. He was legitimately, there was something off about him. But he had this great question, one that I use myself a lot now, which he asked Covenant. They're sitting there all drinking. So tell me, dudes, what's the weirdest thing about living in Sweden? And it's, that would be the polar bears walking around the streets. and the dude said, really? Polar bears? No shit, huh? No, we are kidding. Polar bears? No shit.
Wow.
I hope I
don't know.
get one of these days that I get to see Covenant live, but I don't know if they're ever going to come back and do a U.S. tour.
Yeah, with how stupid everything is right now. Yeah.
Well, I'm feeling very blessed. Keep your fingers crossed. Frontline Assembly Ministry and KMFDM are supposed to perform here in San Diego on October 30th. They said they are going to come.
They're going to do that tour.
They were going to do it last
That
year.
was the tour they were going to do last year.
Yeah.
Yes,
so that's
it got
great.
moved. Yeah, so like I these are 3 bands I have been dying to see all my life, and COVID had shoved it back. So
well, I know the
fingers
venues
crossed.
here don't give a shit anymore, so we might be able to go too.
I got to check that out.
Yeah, that's great.
But that's great. I hope that it everything works out and you get to go.
Yeah, me too. I'm not so happy about seeing Ministry after seeing Jorgensen and his little Antifa theme song. I was like, oh, dude, what?
Yeah, that was.
But I'm so excited for KMFDM.
You saw the video I made.
Actually,
yes.
That's kind of ruined Ministry for me. And I mean, I after that song, I was still like, well, I still like Every Day is Halloween. And then I played it the other night and realized, no, it's kind of ruined for me.
I'm not so bothered by it because I know just how much drugs.
No, I see your video. I hear the music and I see your video behind it. And it's like, I can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Just him posing in front of the camera with the stupid hair and those goddamn tattoos.
Al isn't the person
and his face full of metal.
Yes.
The 17 friggin' piercings he shoved into his face to prove to his daughter he wasn't a pussy.
But dude, no, you're worse than a pussy. You're a poser.
Yeah.
And that is sad. Horrible. Polar bears, entirely true. Source. I visited Helsingborgs on a day trip once. Swedes commuting on bears every bloody where.
So
anyway.
Oh, okay. What was the one big song? Well, take your pick. I mean, in the 80s, it was Every Day is Halloween and Working for Love. And then he got influenced by Front 242 and Skinny Puppy. And their song, first it was Stigmata, and then it was Thieves. And then after that, it became NWO was their big hit. Yeah, there's no shortage of hits. But yeah, I guess with Ministry, the thing was Al did so many drugs.
All of the drugs.
He did all of the drugs that I'm kind of not shocked that he's completely burnt out and lost it. Just apparently it was heroin, cocaine, speed, alcohol. Is apparently, from what I understand, unless he was lying, he would get nervous, drink real heavily before a show, then realize he needed a pick-me-up, so then he would do speed or cocaine to be able to do the show. Then afterwards, he'd realize he was up too high, so he would take downers and drink more and maybe smoke weed to go back down, and that was every night.
So he's trying to be Keith Richards.
Well, that was him in the 90s.
Dude.
I'm surprised he didn't die.
I don't think anyone can be Keith Richards.
Keith Richards is going to outlive Steve-O.
Yes.
and Steve-O's almost indestructible.
Yes.
So, trying to think if there's any other real mentionable stories that can come to mind that would mean anything to the audience or to anybody that wasn't like local bands or. Can you think of any of the stories I told you you thought were particularly funny?
Some things with V&V?
No, I actually never encountered V&V.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh, that was all the other girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's any others. I'd have to really. I mean, there are related music industry stories that don't have to do with music, but they were funny.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the label owner of 21st Circuitry, Don, he kept lizards in his apartment. Him and his girlfriend kept lizards. And most of them were like what, hooded.
I know that you had some bearded dragons.
Lots of bearded dragons,
and you had a poor traumatized chameleon.
Yeah, that look, the amount of noise coming out of that apartment.
Like, you shouldn't be keeping a chameleon in there.
So anyway, getting to the point, he had a monitor lizard. You ever encounter monitor lizards?
Yes.
I've only seen them at the zoo.
Monitor lizards are freaking scary.
Mm-hmm.
And he always had it under a hot lamp, so the thing was always ready to go and just attack. And I remember once I leaned on the cage, and a second later, the thing jumped, flipped over in air, locked onto the cage, and it was trying to chew its way through to my arm.
Through the roof of the cage.
Yes. Anyway, one day, Don's girlfriend, who was, I don't know what her issue was, she was nice, but not all there, decided that, the cat was lonely and that the cat needed a friend.
Oh, God.
So
I can never see where this is going.
She let the monitor lizard out because the cat and the monitor lizard kept pawing at each other through the cage. That's what they wanted, to be friends.
No, they did not.
The cat managed to barely escape by clawing its way into the ventilation.
Shit.
And did not come back for 3 days.
Holy shit.
And apparently it was quite an undertaking to get the monitor lizard back into the cage. Well, the thing had claws that were like hooks.
Oh yeah, they're little sickles.
Yeah.
They have
Aren't
little
they
sickles.
just... Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say they're meant for climbing trees as well as eviscerating prey. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say, aren't they just one step below Komodo dragons?
They are cousins to Komodo dragons. Yes.
Yeah.
Because Komodo dragons are a monitor lizard. They're just the largest, I believe.
Constant berserker mode too. It's like, geez.
But yeah, if you've ever seen footage of a monitor of a Komodo dragon, that was this little thing, only tiny. And
it doesn't have 325 different types of bacteria in their saliva, so you can give your victim necrosis.
Exactly.
Okay, here I got another music industry story.
Yeah.
Setting up a club night, and we would have a table where we were vending CDs for the label. Mm-hmm. So we had all the CDs out and the various merchandise to go along with the bands. And I was tending it at one point, and this goth girl comes up, and it's me, and I forget the other person that was standing next. Oh, it was Jason, the intern, right? And the girl comes up, and she looks at the two of us, and first she goes over to Jason, and she leans forward to sniffs him real hard. No, you're not good.
What?
And then she comes over to me and goes, I'll talk to you.
What?
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Like, okay, is this an esoteric thing, or are you just doing the sniff test to see who showered?
I think she was nuts.
Or if you're nuts. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Goth girls can be... I knew a couple of goth girls that were just really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, like a friend of mine, she was this crazy goth chick who had the same name as me. Her name was also Ginell. We went to a party at her house, and she had absinthe, and so everybody was drinking it. And my friend she had a crush on him. And so he was kind of into the BDSM thing, and she had long nails, so she was scratching his back. And then we hear him kind of whimpering, and somebody else yelled, "Oh my God, she's got an X-Acto knife and she's carving a heart into you, dude."
Oh my God.
And we were like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What did he do? Did he have the appropriate
he was like, "Oh, get off me." So luckily it didn't scar him, but he had the scabs for a while.
Do you want to check that out, or? sorry. We just heard some weird noises in our house, but since we no longer have a small rodent, it can't be from, pets. So Ishi's looking into it to see what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm gonna have to call this early.
No worries. Go find out what's going on.
No, is everything okay?
Yes.
Okay, what was the deal?
It only sounded like it was in the house.
What was it?
It's our neighbor with his truck.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
Well, it sounded like someone had walked into the house.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that would freak me the hell out.
Yeah, it really did sound like someone had entered the house, and I was going to greet them with a submachine gun.
Nice. Hello, how are you? You like my house?
Yeah.
So no, it's all good.
I have another story about this crazy goth girl if you want to hear it.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, this chick was nuts, dude. So she threw great parties. So we always went to her. She lived in Poway. And so she was throwing a Valentine's Day party.
How deep into Poway?
Richville, Poway.
Richville, Poway. Okay.
Yeah. So she was throwing a Valentine's Day party. And we all come to the house. And she tells us not to eat a certain cake. And she's like, I baked it for my sister, her boyfriend, and my mom. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And so she gives them the cake and they eat it. And then she bragged about the fact she had baked cat shit into it.
Oh my God.
She hated her sister, her mother, and her sister's boyfriend. And so she baked cat shit into their cake and they ate it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, yeah. Interesting is the kindest thing I can say.
There was a really skeezy club owner in San Diego who I can't remember the name of, who did something similar to that.
Wasn't it the guy who owns the bot?
I think it was, actually. Or it was one of the guys, one of the co-owners, yes.
Yeah, who owns the bot, yeah.
But I'm not going to repeat the story right now on the air because we're all feeling fine and don't want to vomit.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I made anybody in the chat sick. It's just my experiences with goth chicks are either they're actually quite normal or they're really fucking insane.
That would be my experience.
Yeah, I think the thing was, it's when they were, the goth girls that I got along with were kind of on the punkish end of things, but when they got into the real pretty or dandy type goth, that's when it got strange.
That was my experience. There was a goth girl. I didn't hang out with her, but there were two outcast groups, and I was in one, and
does Lily
she was
count?
in the other one. No, she does not. But this chick, she was actually cool. She was just a little damaged. But for the most part, she was cool, and I think she got her shit together in college. But yeah, they're either cool or they're scary.
My friend he always dated the freaky ones. Like he dated one that always liked to draw fake blood on her neck so it looked like her throat was slit. And she didn't walk. She literally skittered. Like she skittered. That's the only way I can explain how she would be mobile. We're like, oh, wow. So-and-so is skittering over here. Let's bail. It just, I don't know. He liked the crazy ones.
Wow.
Yeah. Goth, it was either one way or the other. Either they were really cool or they were some form of borderline manic depressive or drama queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I played Vampire the Masquerade in high school, and the other girl in the group who was a player, the game was ran by my close friend, but the other girl in the group, she was kind of crazy, and she decided that to prove her clan loyalty in the game, and we were not LARPing. We were not LARPing. with very defined, you sit at the table, you're playing your game with your paper and your dice, and away from the table, we are friends. But at school, she freaking carved the Tremere clan symbol into her hand with a paper clip first, and then later with a box cutter.
Knowing what high school you went to, that must have been a strange sight.
Oh, this was in Orange County, actually.
Oh,
this was before I moved
okay.
to San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, no, Brea is a very uptight, like walking into the 50s kind of blast from the past town, or at least it was when I was a kid. And so, yeah, her carving that shit into her hand, I'm surprised she wasn't immediately, slammed into therapy, but nope.
Hey, Anime Acid Trip, if you're still on, by the way, I'll give you one more story. This one you would have really... There was a girl I used to go clubbing with, since we're all talking about goths we knew.
Mm-hmm.
And she was more on the kind of the punk end of the goth scene. But I think he might have been... Or Jesus. I think he might have viewed this girl as maybe his dream girl. I mean, if Rico really has it for Amazons, this woman I used to hang out with and go clubbing with was, let's see, she was about 5'9", maybe 5'10" in the boots, built like a brick, and busty. And one of the best things about going clubbing with her is you didn't have to worry about fights, because she would berserker right in if anyone gave you shit.
Nice.
Does sound like your kind of woman, Anime?
I heard Amazon. I am here. He saw or he heard.
Yeah, actually, imagine a much more beefy version of Feruza Balk from The Craft. That's kind of what her look was.
That sounds kind of hot.
Yeah, she was. She definitely was attractive. Rico demands contact number. Oh, I haven't talked to her in years, dude. This was in the 90s. All right. Should we call it a night? We've been on for an hour and a half, so.
I'm okay with calling it a night. I had not a lot of sleep.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it was just I couldn't sleep. It was nothing bad happened. Just does anybody ever get where like they wake up in the middle of the night and it's just like, I'm up?
Yeah, I've got drugs for that and they still don't work.
Yeah, if I take melatonin, I'll be a zombie, and I couldn't be a zombie since I had to take the kiddo to school this morning, so I have to avoid.
He's back to school?
Mondays and Tuesdays they're in school, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday they are on Zoom. So at least he's going back 2 days a week, which he's happy about. But sadly, the rest of the parents at the school are paranoid. Since it's a charter school, they don't have to adhere to the public school stuff. So there's only him and 3 other kids in the class, but they're all girls and they're all his friends. So we've been joking that, my son is now a pimp.
He's got a harem.
Yep, he's got a harem.
Oh, too bad it's not back a couple of months and he could get all the Valentines from the girls.
Yeah. He actually does get a lot of Valentines from girls. I will brag.
Awesome.
I'm so proud of him.
Well,
he's a good kid.
Yeah. I'm wearing down, everyone. I'm hitting burn. I think actually being startled thinking someone was in the house kind of derailed everything.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It really did sound like someone came through the front door.
Mm.
All right. Good talking to you all. And we will talk again, tomorrow night with Dungeon Delver. He's going to give you more D&D stories and continue to answer your questions about the gaming industry.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. I'll ditch class for that.
Dude.
Okay. Nighty night. Say good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, guys.